Hello, my name is Bailey Wright. I work as the District 1 4-H Youth Development Program Specialist, and we're back for our series of 10 steps to a record book. If you've been following along, hopefully between now and the last video, you have completed your community service section and you are rocking and rolling. So tonight we're going to do step 6, awards, and we're going to go ahead and do step 7, non-4-H activities, just because I think both of these sections are a little quicker and they're a little more simple and we can just fit those in. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into awards first, and we'll work our way to non-4-H activities. So let me switch screens. I have some examples to show y'all. Okay, this section's great because like the past couple sections we've done, they give you this chart and there's not a whole lot of changing you need to do to the chart. I will go ahead and say, I know I say this every time, but remember these examples that I'm showing you are dated. They're a year or 2 years old. Make sure you're going to the D1-4-H website to download the correct record book report form. The charts might look a little different, but not really. What's different is what's going to be up here. And remember to read the top of this on every section because it's going to tell you how to list the levels, and it's going to remind you of your entry allowances, how many entries you're allowed and how many pages you're allowed in each section. So make sure you're reading those carefully. This is pretty self-explanatory. You go by year, same as always. We start with the newest thing you've done, the most recent, and work your way back. Do your level, and then what your recognition or award is, and then its importance to you. So I think this is a great one. You can see he's got a variety of awards, and so I just want to list a couple. Stock show awards can always go on here. Any county contest, county food challenge, county food show, district contest, state contest. I know most of our juniors and intermediates won't have any state awards yet. That's totally fine. And then just some other recognition stuff. I know most counties have some sort of achievement banquet or end of the year awards ceremony. So awards like Danforth I Dare You Award might be given out there. Gold Star for our seniors, that's the biggest award that you can win in 4-H on the state level. It's a state award, Danforth I Dare You Award. I think all counties should look into giving one of those out because it's a national leadership award. Year pins, a lot of those are given out at end of year 4-H ceremonies, award ceremonies, to recognize your commitment to 4-H and how many years you have successfully completed. So I think that's a great one. Some of your counties might do 4-H'er of the month. That's another great one. So you can see he's done a lot of educational presentations. He showed a lot of cattle, had 4-H'er of the month, livestock judging. It can be a huge variety here. I want to make clear, you're not necessarily being judged on the outstandingness. I'm not thinking of the right word here. The outstandingness of your award. You know, how big and prestigious of awards does this 4-H'er have? That's not really what you're being judged on. So I tell people all the time, whatever you consider to be achievements to you in terms of awards and recognition, list them here. Maybe one of your biggest achievements is a 4th place pig at your county stock show. That's okay. Don't think that you can only do, and he doesn't put down just first places. You don't have to put down just first places. And when you're further along in your 4-H career, hopefully you have the opportunity to choose from some of your awards and think, oh, what are my biggest and best, or which ones mean the most to me? But sometimes when you're starting out, there's room for growth in your awards. So whatever your award or recognition is in terms of 4-H, don't be afraid to list it here. I think that's a-okay. To me, what's more important is that you're genuine in when you do this important statement. It's the importance of what that award, basically did that award or recognition mean to you. So I think he has some pretty good statements of why some of these awards were special to him. This one, he says all of his friends and family were there to celebrate with him. That was their comeback year and they qualified for state. Hard work pays off. tough competition, reflects his dedication, something that he and his family did together. It was his first year to go to state roundup. I mean, those are pretty genuine responses of why those awards were important to him. So that's pretty easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I'm going to show y'all one more example of this. Again, this is such an easy page. You don't see a ton of difference in terms of formatting, again, because it's one of the charts they give to you. There's not much reason to change it. So let me show you one more example of that, and then we'll move on to our next step. Okay, this is hers. This is even a couple years older than the example I just showed you. So the formatting is a little different. You'll see we weren't able to fit as many of her awards on here. I should have helped her better, and we should have shrunk this column up a little bit because her important statements were longer. We would have shrunk this column up a little bit, expanded that column. We could have fit more of her awards on here, and because I know she had more. But on the reverse, this is kind of a good tip and trick. Maybe for some of our younger 4-H members or are just starting out 4-H members, you might not have as many awards and recognition to list yet, and that's okay. As long as you start your record book, I'm telling you, that's an award in itself. So if you don't have quite as many, if you make your important statements a little longer, you can fill your page up. And this might be an old school way of thinking, but a lot of people still think this way. If you're doing record books for a competitive standpoint, people like to see a full page. It's kind of, I don't know, that might be a little old school, but that's what some people think. So hers again, I also should have double checked this for her. I was obviously being a lazy county agent. I didn't double check this good enough. We should have put these in all her most recents up here, but I just didn't get that. I missed that. So she put a record book award here. She was named MVP of a 4-H board she served on. Also want to make this clear, all these sections are 4-H. We're about to get non-4-H, so everything you're putting in this section is just 4-H awards. Recognized for serving on 4-H council, gold level point recipient. I think a lot of counties do point awards, so that can be a recognition, 4th place in educational presentation, first place in entomology team and state qualifier. You can her importance statements are good too. I like this one. She showed growth here too. She said, I enjoyed learning, competing, and improving my score by 30 points. This made me realize younger members are looking up to me. I like that too. Represents growth, hard work paid off, reflection tool. I like her statements. So I'm not going to spend too much more time on awards just because I think it's pretty simple. And again, just don't be afraid if you don't have a ton or if your awards are on the county level. Your awards are your awards. What's more important is what they mean to you and how you state that. Okay, moving on to the non-4-H section. Oh, I think I can just scroll. We'll just look at hers. So if you'll remember from one of the first videos we did when we were talking about 4-H projects, I said the project section was one of the 2 sections that you had to format on your own. Well, this is the other section. The non-4-H activities section is one that you have to format on your own, so they look pretty different. Pretty much they need to be done one of 2 ways, either in a chart format like this or more of a resume format. And I'll show you all that in a minute. She chose to do a chart format. She was one of the record books we looked at who used color in her project pages, so she used color here too. This chart looks really similar to her project charts. So I think you can do these in, again, another one of 2 ways. Even if you're doing a chart or a resume, to me, you break it down by either non-4-H leadership, non-4-H community service, and non-4-H awards, or you break it down by the organization themselves. She broke it down by leadership, community service, and awards. Ideally, we would have listed leadership first, then community service, then awards. That's extremely nitpicky. The reason I say that is because that's the order of the record book. You do 4-H awards, 4-H community service, 4-H non-4-H 4-H leadership, 4-H community service, then 4-H awards. So I would like this section to look non-4-H leadership, non-4-H community service, non-4-H awards. That might not have made sense. But she did it, and that's not a huge deal. So she did high school stuff. She had sports she listed here. She student council, National Honor Society, some of the community service she did through her church. I think that's great. This is a good record book. This is a record book that I believe was 4th at state. Again, it's a couple of years old, but had I known then what I know now, to make this record book really competitive, we should have expanded on some of this. We definitely should have expanded on it. But these columns are pretty standard. What was the organization? What was the activity or your role? And then give us a description or an impact or importance. But yeah, this is a great one. I think it's a great place to start. Pretty simple, but if you're really doing it to be competitive, we need to expand a little here, and I'll show you all some of that. I'm going to show you all one that's really simple that I think if you're starting out, you're just trying to get a record book done so you have it done and you can build off of it in the coming years, or for younger 4-Hers, I think I have a good example to show y'all. Scroll down. It's this one. It's a lot more simple. It's more of a resume style, but it's still pretty simple. And when I think about, honestly, he did it because he wasn't trying to be super competitive with record books. He's a longtime 4-Her, but he was new to doing record books, and he was trying to just get all of this organized for when it came down for scholarships. And you know what? It served its purpose. He had it listed where it needed to be listed. But so I think about younger 4-Hers who, when you're not in high school or junior high yet, there's just not tons of sports opportunities. There's not tons of other youth organization opportunities. So this section just might look a little more simple and plain, and that's okay. But again, if I wanted to make this one more competitive, we would have expanded on some of this a little bit, but you get a good idea of some of his activities. I'm going to briefly touch on this, and I'm not going to go too in depth on it because it's a great area and kind of a controversial area in the world of 4-H record books. He did the right thing. He's a member of Texas Junior Hereford Association, which is a breed association. I think a lot of primarily our cattle showing kids might also be members of breed associations. You don't list those in your project section. You don't list them under 4-H leadership or under 4-H awards. Those breed associations, even though they might be impacting your 4-H beef cattle project in some ways and making your experiences stronger and better, I truly believe they probably are. Those need to be listed here. I'm not going to go any more in depth on that. If you have questions, talk to your county agent about that or reach out to me. But breed association work, experiences, leadership, awards all need to go in this section. So he did the right thing there. Okay, moving on. I'm going to show you a couple more examples on this section just because there can be some variance. Let's see. This is another one that's more of the resume format. So she broke it up this way: school activities, FFA, some of her roles there, National Honor Society, her roles there, Student Leadership Committee, and then she did an impact statement. She also part of the Texas Hereford Association, a breed association, her involvement, her roles, her impact statement, and then she did church and community. Again, this one's also a little more simple. She definitely expanded on it more, which I think is great. I think if you're going to do it in a resume style, which I don't have anything against the resume style. There's plenty of people I know who prefer the resume style. Sometimes I prefer the resume style. I think this is a good resume style, and if you want to do resume, it could look similar to this with some impact statements and some more description. So she did a good job there. Also, it's a dated one, so it looks a little different, but I think her content is good. I'm going to show you a chart. I hope I have 2 charts pulled up. 2 charts that I think are really good. I've kind of done this at the end of every video. I show y'all some things that have been, shoot, I might have to, just kidding. Technology has not been my friend lately, so I never know what to expect. These are charts that are from the outside 4-H section, non-4-H section, and the scholarships that we just submitted. And I think these are two really great examples. Again, let me preface it by saying these are really, really good examples. They're 10-year 4-H members. So I don't think compare a first-year 4-H member or even an intermediate 4-H member to this. They're just not going to be there yet. But again, this is our outside 4-H experience. So this person broke it down by leadership, honors, volunteer, and community activity. Okay, I'll show you all this because I've already shown it to you. This on the scholarship goes on this page. In the record book, work experiences, and if some of our high schoolers are already doing college hours, are going to go in the section we'll do next week. Work experience does not go in the outside 4-H experiences section. I probably just really confused everyone by doing that. I didn't mean to show that section to y'all. I just scrolled too much. So she did it by volunteer and community activities, her honors, and her leadership activities. This is how I like it broken out. Years involved, the organization, kind of her activity. She could have done activity/role there. And then the importance and impact it's made on her. So you can read through that. She obviously has National Honor Society, Student Council, some of her UIL activities. That's a good one. I forget about that one. That's a great one that I think some younger 4-H members probably take part in too. Art club, sports, honors. She has some academic honors, some softball honors, some UIL contests. She went to a leadership seminar. Volunteer work. This is volunteer work that she did not do through 4-H. I'm assuming she did it through she says right here, she did it through National Honor Society, through Student Council, and through her church. So she says what she did and then the importance and impact she made. And so let me just play devil's advocate for a minute, because I know this 4-H'er, I know she did snack pack for kids also through 4-H. So that's okay if there's a service activity that you do it through your 4-H club or your 4-H project, but then you also do it through Student Council or through church. That's fine. You can list it in both places because it's something you've done in both places. Remember, things that you did in 4-H aren't going to be listed on this page, and things that you did in outside organizations are only going to be listed on this page. Hopefully that's clear as mud. Anywho, I think this is a great example, and I like that she has it divided by leadership, honors, and then volunteer and community activities. I have one more. This is another, it's basically formatted the same way. Just a little different. She has hers, she's a little more artsy and creative. So she wanted to fit a lot on one page. So she did her titles kind of over here. So her leadership activities, she has FFA, the organization, the role, personal significance, and responsibilities is how she labeled it. Years of involvement, some clubs at school, a cattle conference she went to, some FFA committees she started. And let's just talk about FFA because I know people get lots of questions on that. It's FFA and 4-H benefit each other so much for kids who are involved in both. I think being in 4-H can help your FFA project experiences, and I think being in FFA can help your 4-H project experiences. It's okay to include some of the things you've learned. Let's say you livestock judge in 4-H and FFA. Some of those things you learned and did judging in FFA livestock judging, those experiences you had, you can include in your 4-H livestock judging project because those experiences helped you, but don't include FFA contest or FFA leadership or community services or committees. You can include some of the experiences with, I'm going to get myself in trouble. You can include those experiences on your project pages, but when you really talk about FFA and name FFA, keep it on this page. We'll just leave it there and see how that goes over. So I think this one's really good. Then she does her honors, some FFA honors. She was on the dean's roll for dual credit college classes, academic honors, more academic honors. She does them by year here. Oh, again, I'm not. Again, no work experience in the record book one. Okay, then she has her community service, things she did through National Honor Society, Interact Club, more National Honor Society, Dalhart FA. So she lists the activity right here. And then her importance and impact statement. Someone's going to ask me about these bolded words. Some of the ones she bolded I would have changed if we're being honest. And this is a very, very good section. I love the way she formatted this. So I'm being super nitpicky. I like some of these things that she bolded, like keep a record, because that's a skill. Organize, plan, facilitated. Those are skills. Facilitated. I like dedication and motivation because they're kind of inspirational words, if you will. But some of these, she did a few things that she learned, like dedication, motivation, responsibility, time management, some skills. Some of these, yeah, be careful with words you bold. I'll tell you, the reason we did this is because this is a scholarship application, and sometimes on scholarship applications, you bold things just to catch people's eyes because there's so many applications and the judges are looking at so many applications in a short period of time. You want yours to stand out in some ways. In a record book, I don't know that bolding these words are that great. I like action words bolded sometimes, but I'd be careful on the words you bold. But maybe that'll answer that question. But again, I think these last two that I showed y'all, the content is really, really good in terms of a non-4-H page. That's really all I have. Again, thanks for hanging in there with me. I know these trainings are fast and furious and not as formal as they would be if I were in my office or getting to do these in person, but hopefully they're still helping y'all out and y'all are getting close to completing your record books. As always, if you have questions about anything I said or need clarification, feel free to reach out to your agents and they can reach out to me if y'all need something from me. But I will see y'all next week. Complete these two sections and we'll keep moving forward.